Condon, representing the TooMedToo Star Wars Network. We've got your fix, and this is going to be my live reaction to Mandalorian Chapter 12. I don't have a title for it yet, but we should be getting that any second here, probably when the episode starts. So let's just go and get right into it and see what we got. While we're looking at this, I'm going to let you know that you can find me on patreon.com/TooMedToo. Dale, does the sound good now?
Staying here. The Barrow is a very fine planet, and now that the scum and villainy has been washed away, it's very respectable again. Hang on, kid. It's gonna be a bumpy ride, but I finally know where I'm taking you.
Okay, so here we go. This is just the start of this, and I'm just going to skip ahead a few seconds because the last few times I've done it, I've gotten in trouble because of the music, so they really don't like that. But here we go. We got a couple people in the chat, a couple of our friends, and Dale, everything's working out with the sound. You got me, you got that, and here we go. Dale's at not that you can tell. Alright, so let's start this over. Can you hear me fine? Is everyone hearing me fine? I'm about to press play. This should be fixed now by this. Alright, so it is starting right now. Dude!
Did you get the wire out? The red wire? No, the red one. Show me the red wire. The red one. Yes, good. Now, you're going to plug that red wire where the blue wire goes in the board. Put the red wire where the blue wire goes in the board, okay? But don't let them touch.
be delicious. Oh! Oh, we're gonna have some pets. There's my girl too.
Go on, you're free. Go on, get. Okay, look. What you got? That's all I got. No, I need to return all these things to the right owners.
The Siege. There we go. Oh, the gang's all back together.
Looks like someone could use some repairs.
How's my credit around here?
I think something could be arranged. Isn't that right, Marshal?
I'm sure we can work something out.
I'll get my best people on it. Hey, fellas. Let's fix this man's ship. I want it as good as new. Why? And you come here, little one. Has Mando been taking good care of you, huh? Have you been taking good care of him? Yeah, he said yeah. Yeah.
Wait, did he actually say it, or was that just him?
Yeah. Look at you.
Looks like you two have been busy.
I myself have been steeped in clerical work. Marshal Doom here is to be thanked for cleaning up the town.
Your ship's not looking too good.
I had a run-in with the New Republic.
They should leave the Outer Rim alone. If the Empire couldn't settle it, what makes them think they can? Here we are.
I'm surprised to see this place is still standing.
Wait till you see inside.
Who can name one of the 5 major trade routes in the galaxy? Anyone? How about the Corellian Run? Yes, the Hydean Way. That is correct.
The school?
Things have changed a lot around here.
We're gonna leave the little one here so we can talk business.
Wait, wherever I go, he goes.
Mando, please. Where we're going, we don't want to take a child, trust me.
He'll
So
be
now-
here. You have no right.
How much time has passed?
From the outer rim to as far away as the poles. However, there are several other regions of the galaxy. They are
Tomorrow.
all right, class. Settle down. Back to the lesson, Joe. Maelstrom. The mail.
That was not 000, Dale. Mint Oreos. Mint fudge covered Oreos. Okay, so we definitely got to talk a lot about.
Registration on the ship, but pretty sure it belongs to me. I believe you two have met.
I'm surprised to see you here.
Right back at ya. Mithro here is taking care of my book since it was a pollywog. Then he disappeared one day after it had created the bounty. Magistrate Cargo was generous enough to let me work off my debt. 350 years, but who's counting?
Well, if he runs off on you again, let me know.
Assure you, I do not want to spend any more time carbide. Still can't get him on my back.
Can we watch this one?
I'm only here for repairs.
Which will take a while, which means you'll have free time on your hands, right? And we can end the show.
How?
This is Navarro. We're here. This entire area is a green zone. Completely safe. But over on this side is the problem.
It's an old Imperial base.
It's where all those troops came from when we defeated Moff Gideon. This base has been here since the Imperial expansion. It's got a skeleton crew, but for some reason it hasn't been abandoned.
There's a lot of heavy weaponry in that place. The Black Bacta would love to dismantle and get their hands on.
And you want to mop up the last of the Imperial force before they do.
Mando, I just want them off my planet. If we could take out that one last base, the bomb would be completely safe. We could be a trade anchor for the entire sector.
And the planet would finally be free.
What are we looking at?
He's in. Like there was any question really about it.
The whole base is powered by a reactor.
We sneak in, overload the reactor, and get the hell out of there.
Let's be fast and keep the speeder running.
There it is right up there. See it?
How close do you want me to drop you off?
But the front door.
A little close for civilian, don't you think?
I got two choices for you. You take us in and I knock 100 years off your debt. Or I leave you out here in the lava flats to walk home with whatever's left in your humidity vest.
So much of a choice, is it? All right. Can't go any further than this.
Let's go.
Controls are useless unmelted.
Oh, it's probably not rated for lava.
Imperial trash.
All right. I'm headed back. Hit me up on the comm. We can set up a rendezvous time.
You park your gills right there until I say otherwise.
I'm
starting to dehydrate, boss.
Okay, how does 30 more years off your debts?
Con Storm. Thanks for stopping by.
Flange cutter and help us out.
Depending on what kind of who you have, what service you use, sometimes they're a little bit delayed.
All right, I'm coming. Hurry up.
I know if I try and watch my Roku, it's 20 minutes delayed.
Hold tight.
There's Mando coming through.
How long is this gonna take?
Look, lady, this is rated for light plumbing and such. You're lucky I even packed it at all.
There we go.
Are you coming in or what? I'll take my chances down here. Thank you.
Well, when the lava tide comes in, give us a holler. We'll drop you over.
All right, we got a couple people stopping in here. Yeah, hang out. We are going to do a deep dive into this afterwards. We got a couple of good people on after the show, if they can stay awake here in the U.S. Where are you guys from that are just hopping in the chat?
The reactor should be set in the heat shack. If we drain the cooling lines, this whole base will blow up in a matter of minutes. Look, it's a big truck to the Marauder. You know how much we can get for this on the black
where do we start? Because there is a lot to talk about and a lot to unload here right now. Dale, let me know how you are there. If we got back with the sound now and what we got going on. We were supposed to have Patrick with us. Patrick was going to be coming on, but he had something that just came up. He messaged me and told me he can't make it now because of whatever it is. So, all right, let's go ahead and talk about this. Anybody that wants to come on and chat with us about this, feel free. You are welcome to come on here. Boom, boom, chat. All right. That's posted on there. Anybody that wants to come on here and talk, and we'll make sure that we go over here and we put it on there also for anyone that wants to come on and talk. I'm just going to say really quick for anybody that I have this weekend off, and I'm single this weekend. So I got the new VR Galaxy's Edge, whatever it is. So I'm going to be streaming that on YouTube. And come check me out on Live It. Download the Live It app. I'll be on there doing that too. So, all right, let's see. Where do we start? I want to get this on here really quick before we get right into it. They pulled me again on Facebook. I don't know what's going on. Facebook, screw you. They pulled me on Facebook. But let me go on YouTube. So just trying to get that figured out and how that goes. But we're going to go to here. And we're going to pop that right there for anybody that wants to see that. And then we're going to come right over here to this one. And we're going to do it on there. Boom. So we got everybody coming on here to talk with us and chat. And then right here too, make sure we got this one going good. Into the profiles we go. All right, and tweet that one out. So now we're back here. So anybody that wants to come on here and chat with us, feel free to do it. We're picking up a bunch of people off of Twitter. So that's kind of strange that are watching it with their thing. But first big thing, we did not get a Sokutano at all. So, I mean, that was one of the biggest things we thought we were going to see her, and So here's the issue with that. It goes back to episode 1 where we see Boba Fett, and everyone expecting we're going to see Boba Fett, and 2, or it's going to be the Boba Fett story then. And myself and a bunch of other people are like, well, if we do get anything, it's going to be really quick. And I was thinking that we weren't going to get a lot with Ahsoka Tano for this one. I thought we were going to get a quick little view or whatever it happened to be. I didn't think she was going to be in this one. And so because we didn't, we're going to have a lot of people saying this is a filler episode, but this is in no way a filler episode at all. Well, Hootie Lawrence, why don't you come on here and let's chat. Talk to me why you're disappointed. Like this is the whole thing. Story building is not a disappointment. like you just said, there's a lot of connections to old and new episodes. And I mean, just really quick, just going down the list that I have, things I wrote down quickly. So it was a lab, not a base. M count. What could an M count be? They were referring to the child. We obviously know they were the child. We talk about Moff Gideon, and we see Moff Gideon. We got Teva again in this episode. So they've been hanging out around there, even though they say they don't get out that far. The Razor Crest is shiny and new again. So they're hanging out there. We're going to have some presence of, the New Republic hanging out there. So let's see the first thing, M count. I'm going to post it here too, just in case anyone missed it or whatever. Make sure you're following and subscribing and liking too while you're here. And you can find me on Patreon. Go to patreon.com, TooMedToo, and there you can find me doing all of my Patreon stuff. There's a bunch of different levels for everybody. So, and don't forget, Super Chats are open. If you want to talk and you're in here, Super Chats will get you mentioned right away. So, yeah, Hootie Lawrence, man, come on in and talk to me. Let me know what you got going on in your mind, because, that's what we're here for. People that sit around and talk. And that's what we want. I'm not sure where you are. I'm trying to find your stream and I can't find it right now so that we can talk. But okay. And Jonathan, that you're welcome to come on here too. Everybody's welcome. So Jonathan says, I've been seeing. We're just gonna start back over here at the top. So Hootie, he's disappointed, but there's many connections to the old. Okay, why are you disappointed? Let me know why you're disappointed. You're not saying anything. You're glad that they're filling holes in the trilogy. Okay, so this is good at least. People are be respectful. Come on here and chat. Whatever you want to do. Let's do it. They're either going to cram the episodes or we're gonna have like 7 seasons. Cram what though? Like, see, this is what you're going in with expectations. Jonathan, here is the link. Come on in and chat with me, buddy. You just click on there. You can use your phone. You can use your computer, whatever you need to do. And come on and let's talk. So yeah, like you're saying, they're going to cram all the episodes. Like, what do you want? What are you expecting out of this show? That you're saying they're going to have to cram it, and we already know we're getting at least 4 seasons. So we have another 20 episodes to go. I'm not sure what you mean, like what you're trying to say about they're going to have to cram what? What do you think is going to happen? Like, what are these expectations you have that you're disappointed with? And then we have Jonathan here. So I've been seeing theories going around that the story say Moff Gideon will die, and because Rebels and Ahsoka reasons as well, Thrawn will make his first live-action appearance in the Mando. Thoughts? That would be amazing. But this also gets into one of those areas that I've been talking about, with the whole Boba Fett situation also. If Boba Fett and Din Djarin got in a fight, Boba Fett's going to win. If they both have armor on or, whatever, Boba Fett's going to win. So how can Boba Fett fight Din Djarin, win, and then still have it be the Mandalorian show? Is Thrawn too big of a name that it's going to take away from the Mandalorian? And this answers a lot of questions this episode, and has a lot more questions or things that have come up because of this episode that we're going to get right into. Jonathan saying hello. Nick Holland wants to know how he can watch it without Disney Plus. DM me on Twitter or Instagram. I'm TooMedToo everywhere on there, and I can, we can try and figure something out. There's people that have Discords that you can do it on there. There's people with Patreons that you can do it on there. So there's many ways to do it without being nefarious as well. Dale says that he likes that theory. That's good. Dale's usually likes to, yeah, I don't know. Dale likes to poo-poo on people. I mean, not literally poo-poo. I don't know what he's into for stuff like that. But, okay. So, yeah. All right. Patrick just sent me a DM with his theories. So here we go. We're going to read Patrick's theories off here. Patrick usually comes on the show. He's Gannon 136. He's on the show often. Dale, I agree with you that there's nobody that has too big of a name, but what I'm saying is Boba Fett. What happens with Boba Fett? If that is Boba Fett, that we're all 99.9% sure that it is Boba Fett, I wouldn't bet my life on it because it is Star Wars, and you never know what's going to happen. And so, I mean, that's another topic conversation in itself, but if you have Thrawn, and now Thrawn is, it's Thrawn and Din Djarin. Thrawn is way smarter than Din Djarin, so, I don't know how Din Djarin's going to win that one. But, of course, they would have to make it happen. So here's the thing. We're going to go to Patrick's questions that he has. So this is what... did we just see Test Tube Palpatine? Are they pulling... I'm not sure. Did we actually... Is there something that we should have seen in there that I missed, maybe? With the... where he said Test Tube Palpatine? Let me go back and check really quick. I think I have an idea of where he would be talking. It's going to be the end of this episode right here. And Mandalorian, we can do a screen share too if it looks like something good.
Look, it's a mid-Trexler Marauder. You know how much...
Okay, they're going into... I'm just double checking this because, watching it live, sometimes we miss things. Okay, I don't seem to see anything there.
Does he still have the asset?
Yes. Our source confirmed it.
Nothing there.
And we will be ready.
I mean, this is what... All right, so I don't know if this is what Patrick was actually talking about. But I can do a screenshot of this and not get in too much trouble, hopefully. There you go. This is what we were talking about right here. This is what we got going on. This is what I thought he was talking about, but you can see there's all look like Death Troopers or something like that. And here we go with the comments. Gannon, I don't think it was Palpatine. Maybe Snoke, maybe something different. Dead test subjects, they're cloning. Death Troopers, those were troopers. Some sort of cross between and Dark Troopers. So yeah, I mean that's where we kind of were at from there. So they're obviously cloning, and we know that because I mean I have that some of the things that the M counts. The child, he said he doesn't think we'll ever get anyone with a higher M count, a higher midichlorian count. That's the only thing it can be with M count. They talked about the child exactly. Moff Gideon, I have that in my notes, but obviously we know that we have that. And so let's go see what Patrick's things. They mentioned test subjects, so I think they are doing transfusions to see if people can become formative with midichlorians being added to their blood. Dr. Pershing sees they are dying, so something isn't working. So they are trying to crack the code of being able to make anyone a powerful force being. I think Moff Gideon wants to become just like Tar Vizsla, the first Mandalorian Jedi. He found out about Maul being able to take the throne, and maybe he wants the same. Bo-Katan mentioned last week about how she wants the Darksaber back. This episode was a connection to so many different things in canon. I know the Empire, their test subjects didn't go willingly, but they were probably Imperial prisoners. These guys are trying to delete the data on the computers, but they have the Camino patches, and they're definitely cloning. But now here is what I wish we had a couple people on here to chat about this. What are they cloning? Now, what are they cloning for? Is this something to do with their cloning to bring back Palps? And they need to figure out how to make a clone that can withstand such a high midichlorian count or the Force, because we know from The Rise of Skywalker that's what the issue was with the clones that Palpatine was put into, that it was so strong that the body was the clone was deteriorating. Could an unaltered clone of Jango Fett prove viable? Was that an unaltered clone and not Boba Fett at the end? And that is going to play some important part to this show, because now they have a clone that is unaltered, and it is the Kaminoans were at the height of their shit, and can they do would they have been able to do something? Let's see what's Patrick's going on here. The Clone Wars mentions how hard the Kaminoans were stretching the Jango Fett genome after his death on Geonosis. They got yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. They got Boba's DNA, or maybe Kaminoans could have just got Jango's DNA. Yeah, and we don't know. I don't believe we know in canon what happened to Kamino after the fall of the Empire. Did they just go in there, or after the Empire took over? And did they just go over there and destroy everything? Or, what happened to the clones that were left? Is this all because of the virus that only attacked the clones, that was killing the clones? So that's why they decided to go with, humans as troopers now. It's just there's so many questions that arise too, and the other thing is how much time has passed from season 1 to season 2, because obviously they've had enough time to, why Din Djarin's doing his little running around thing, they've had enough time to rebuild and make a school and put them into place. Things like that take time. It's not like it's going to happen overnight. So we're talking probably, months. Hey, and our buddy Sergio is here. Sergio, you want to hop on, man? Well, I'm going to give the link to you right here, buddy. I know I keep saying give the link, but, you give that link. We got super chats open too. Anybody wants to, help the podcast out, help the show out, give a few dollars on that super chat. We appreciate those too. Sergio, yeah, the M stand for midichlorians. Yeah, the midichlorian count. Ganon's coming in here really hot with Rey's dad was supposedly an unaltered clone of Palpatine that had no Force abilities, but his daughter did. What if Boba has a child or a clone made of him? What would that prove Force viable? I mean, that's a really good question. The clone of Palpatine, just a regular person, and we're just we're not gonna sit here to argue semantics. It's just a regular person. So, but then all of a sudden this regular person has a Force-sensitive kid. So, where are you really going to go from that? So is it possible that Boba Fett had a baby and the baby, or a kid, and it was Force-sensitive? I mean, that's it's canon that it's possible for it to happen. I mean, these are, I wish Patrick was here so I could just yell at him and argue with him about nothing sometimes, because that's fun. Dale's cooking late because it's 4 a.m. here, so it's 1 a.m. where Dale is off cooking. But I shouldn't say anything because I got home from work at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock and took the dog out and watched a little bit of TV and got on here and did a couple things. And I haven't had dinner yet, and it's 4 o'clock in the morning, so I probably won't. Who knows? It all depends what time I go to bed, if I go to bed. But, that's what I was talking with Patrick before this, and there was a lot of people saying that, those idiots that are like, I can't watch The Mandalorian because Gina Carano, blah, 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 blah. Shut up, dude. Really? So, it's like they were like, oh, she's going to die. Maybe she does die, but just because you don't like her, listen, because you don't like her policies that she, is going for or whatever, whoever she thinks can be a better, politician or just whatever, why you don't like her, doesn't mean she's going to die. And it doesn't mean because, a very small percentage of the Star Wars fandom, cried and bitched and moaned because they're a bunch of fucking babies, that she's going to get killed or not have her contract renewed. You don't have that power. You don't have that cancel culture bully power, because that's all it is. Cancel culture is just a bunch of people that have no power, have never had any power, and think if they bitch and moan and try and use the PC shit, that they can bully because they've been bullied their whole life because they're losers or whatever it happens to be. That can go on. Let's see, Patrick here. I love how Lucasfilm can't make it say midichlorians in the script, so they found a way to keep it around without saying it directly by using M count. Yep. Yeah, Sergio is he's in Texas. It's 3 a.m. there. Dale, it's only 2 a.m. for you. I thought you were a little further off, but and spoilers. We know that due to Funko, we know that she will wear that medal. I kind of missed that. I don't know what Funko you were talking about. Patrick saying that Cara Dune will be back at least one more time. At 1909. 1909 is not a time, Dale, because 1909. 1909. Let me check this here. Let me remove this from here while we check this really quick and see. Dale's saying 1909, but his time's a little bit off for me. Me and Dale aren't always on the same page. I mean, just time-wise, his count and my count are a little different. When he started off at the beginning of the show, he told me what time he had it started at, and he was a little bit off from mine. So I'm just going back to make sure we don't miss anything in case they do a quick shot or snap over or whatever it might be that we have going on. Yeah, this is them coming in here right now. You can see them going through there. They're still going here, going strong. Okay. All right, here we go. We got something to show you guys. Thanks, Dale. Dale, you're a great helper out here. Okay. We're just gonna go big with this one. Add a stream right there, so you can see right there. That's what we got going on. We got some clones in there. I'm trying to tell which one's going to make it bigger, and it doesn't really do much of anything. All right, so there you go. That sure does look like a clone of something. It could be a smaller Snoke, definitely. I don't know how well you guys can see it on your end. Let me go over here and check over here and see what we got. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get rid of that. Can't show too much of it. We don't want them to, take this down.
I thought you said this was a forward operating base.
I thought it was.
No, this isn't a military operation. This is a lab. We need to get into the system and figure out what's going on.
What about the reactor?
Do it!
Yeah, so there we go. It's still too hard to tell. From that vantage point, I guess I can later on try and look and see what we got for it, but we'll just go over here really quick and come back to that. Cardoon she is the Marshal of Navarro now. So that's cool. Dale going into enhanced mode. Yeah, Sergio, the cancel culture thing. And I get a little bit upset, and then, people get mad at me or whatever, and I had some asshole, like, dude, you're sitting there all over my social media and doing whatever, and then taking excerpts of my podcast, so where I just went off about how stupid the people are for cancel culture. He's editing that and putting that up. Dude, go ahead and do it, man. I don't care. Whatever. I lost a couple people. It is what it is. This is all just the people, okay? Forced enhancement cloning experiments to clone the Emperor. Perhaps, or better, Death Troopers. This is where it gets really interesting. If they were trying to clone the Emperor all this time, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they could have cloned the Emperor a few times. Not clone the Emperor, but put him in, transferred his essence into different clones a few times. And, they couldn't find anything that sustained. And whatever it was. And that's why this was, the last hurrah and Tross. But now this is also going on, 15 years earlier, before it takes place. So, yeah, like Sergio said, the replacement bodies, but, how many times was he hopping from body to body that, either they just knew that they needed to do it now, or, there's many factors that could have gone into it with, they can't just keep popping from body to body, or, he had that forced dyad there. He didn't understand what the forced dyad could really do. Dale Patrick is not coming on. He was supposed to, but, life happens sometimes, especially at 4 o'clock in the morning. And he wasn't able to hop on again. So, this is just a quick little, we watched it, and hey, what's going on? We're going to talk about it more on the septic tank, most likely, or the next coming few days. That's why they're after Yiddle. Is that what you're calling? Is that what you're calling Baby Yoda? Okay, the child you're calling him Yiddle. Okay. And here's Giovanni Randazzo. Hopefully you're going to be hanging out here and we can have some conversations about this at, some other future time. We got Giovanni saying, remember when Anakin killed Palpatine to bring balance to the Force? Good old days. Yeah, but, you got to remember that, I don't know, of course we all remember that, but that's the whole thing. Bringing balance to the Force isn't like it's like a scale. You got to balance it, and even though it's balancing now, it might go out of balance or something happens, and it's always in motion. Um, it's always in motion. The future is, so you never know what's going to happen, and the force wants it to stay in balance, but I mean, Palpatine, never actually died. His body died, but his essence stayed alive and was transferred. So, he never really died. So it was actually never, fully balanced. We thought it was, or as far as we can tell, it was balanced. But there's many things that knock it out of balance, and we have just Rey being born, of being good, and Kylo being born, but Leia knew that there was still always some dark side in him. So you have those issues too. That even if Palpatine was killed and never came back, Kylo had some evil inside of him. So, or Ben had some evil inside of him that turned into Kylo, or however you actually want to discuss it and whatever. And then here we go. Now we're getting into some philosophy. And Dale's saying that the problem is the law of nature and man, laws of nature, nature of man. Dale's just going off now. Does balance ever exist as long as there are men? And I don't think that means even necessarily men as humans. I mean anyone or anything. And that just means take like you were saying, Mother Nature. Take Mother Nature. The trees take over the world. The trees take over. We're just gonna use Earth now, and kind of make it into this isn't going crazy or whatever. And oh well, what if this happened in real life? But a correlation here. What if trees and plants take over the world? And I don't mean like take over the world, like kill the humans and everything. I mean like there's too many trees or too many plants. So lightning hits the forest and burns down the forest. So it's keeping a balance going at all times. There's, just like whatever it happens to be, Mother Nature is going to correct things herself. And it's getting too warm, so we're going to, figure out what to do. And then eventually, it's going to get too warm and we're going to have too many fires. And then there's going to be too many volcanoes exploding. And then that's going to put too much smoke and soot and everything else into the air, which is going to block the sun. And then it's going to cool off. And then we're going to have an ice age. And then after that ice age and everything settles after, thousands of years or whatever it is, then eventually, it comes back and then we start growing more plants and everything. So everything's circular and it's going to keep happening over and over again. It's always in flux. There's, at some point there's a balance, but it never stays balanced. And that's kind of what the Force is always going to be doing. With that. But here we go. We got Giovanni saying, Giovanni, I don't know if you were in here earlier too. If you want to hop on here and chat with us. Giovanni, where are you from? That's the other question I like to ask too, just to find out. We've been getting some international folks coming in here to chat with us. But Giovanni says, true, but I always interpret it as if you don't find balance as long as evil is there's corrupt and make it unbalanced. Therefore, when Anakin killed Palpatine, he got rid of the pure evil or Sith. But as we are about to find out, Giovanni, were you in here last week or 2 weeks ago. Um, as we're going to find out, and it's already in canon, there is a lot more than just the Sith that are evil. We're going to find out about the Nihilists in the books coming up. Or, in the unknown regions, we have some evil things happening out there. He might have transferred again after the rise of Skywalker into one of his many minions there on the dark side Nexus. I mean, that is possible, Sergio. I don't. I don't think that is going to be the case, but you know what? Anything's possible. Especially, but then again, after the way everything went down, I don't think we need him to. It'd just kind of be. There's got to be something else out there that can be bad, or other hidden Sith, or we still know what happens with all those minions. There has to be something going on. There has to be some relics that are out there. How do we know if Palpatine's essence or whatever it is was able to stay? How do we know there wasn't another Sith that at the time he was killed or murdered by his apprentice that isn't sitting there in a hologram right now? I don't. All right, Giovanni, you're from New York. I'm in New York City, so I don't know where you are, but Sergio, yeah. But I was just using that as an example, and not saying good or evil, for heating or cooling, but you have good or evil, you have cooling and warming, or cold and heat, and it just keeps going in a cycle, trying to at one point in time, the Earth is going to be at the perfect temperature, the perfect amount of this and that, and gases and whatever. But it doesn't really last that long. Like only an instant would it be in perfect harmony. Or, in comparison of the billions of years, even if it was for, tens of thousands of years, that's still an instant when it comes to that. But, I was just trying to say that, like even if you have a scale and it's going like this, well, when it's like this, it's perfectly level. It's perfectly balanced. But that only lasts because it's still going like this, and then coming back down like this, and coming like this. And you're not just leaving it alone. You're not just leaving it alone and waiting for it to balance out. Every time it goes on, you're tapping it and doing this or that, so it never does stay balanced. Oh, all right. You just found us. That's cool. Yeah. I don't know. I've just read Legends since I was young with Thrawn and Vong and Mary Jane. I can go on. And these stories are just a million times better than Disney trash. And okay. Well, see, I mean, this is the thing. I like the new Disney stuff that era stuff we've gotten. You got to remember, Disney doesn't write it; Lucasfilm writes it too. And if you're going to bring Legends into it. Some of Legends was great. Some of Legends is shit. And of course you're going to talk about Luke falling in love with his spaceship. How can you make that canon or base stories off of that? Chewie being crushed, by the moon. Han Solo fighting a giant otter or beaver or whatever the hell it was. So it's like, and that's the other thing too. If you like Legends, that's fine, dude. Love Legends. Let Legends be your thing. but that just comes down to Legends was never canon. Lucasfilm just let people put Star Wars on their books so that they could sell them and get some money off of it. But like George Lucas never considered it canon. He just figured it, something that could make money. But that's the whole thing too. If you don't like the Disney era Lucasfilm made Star Wars content, you got 6 other movies. I don't know what you want to say, because you got the Clone Wars in there. That was George Lucas. But Lucasfilm added on to it after the sale. I haven't really heard anyone complain about The Mandalorian until last or 2 weeks ago, the idiots with the whole egg thing. So it's like there's a lot of good coming out of it. Did they have a couple of speed bumps? And do I think that the original movies, or that the sequel trilogy is perfect? Nowhere near close. I think they made, the biggest mistakes they made were Episode 10 should have been a 2-parter, the same way that Marvel did their Endgame. All right. Let's see what. Yeah, nothing is perfect. I gotcha, but I don't know. Luca the sequel will forever be unforgettable. This man who redeemed the darkest man tries to kill his nephew from a narrative point. It makes no sense. See, and I think it makes perfect sense, because it's showing that even he was tempted by the dark side, and this is what I like to see if I can raise this chair a little bit. So no. All right, just so it's not cut off my face a little bit. I don't think I can put the camera down. It won't stay. But all right, so here's the thing. Everything Luke tries to do, he fails at, or doesn't get the outcome that he wants. Throughout everything in Star Wars, he wants to go find Obi-Wan Kenobi and become a Jedi. Well, what happens when he does that? Because he does that, his only family that he knows gets killed. So, I mean, there's a big one there. He wants to go save his friends and leaves his training. Kind of a failure there. Didn't really do anything with it. Wants to save his father and have his father be redeemed. His father, Vader saves Luke's life in, a few different ways, by not letting the Emperor kill him. Luke turns to the dark side, and when he goes to kill the Emperor, he starts and he goes and he's going to kill the Emperor, and then says, wait a second, I'm not a bad guy, and throws down his lightsaber. So we've already seen Luke do this. And then in The Last Jedi, it's the exact same thing. Luke has this moment, where he's letting the dark side overtake him and says, wait, no, I don't want to do this. What am I doing? I'm doing something wrong. But at that same time, he realizes that and stops himself. Kylo wakes up, or Ben, whatever you want to call him, wakes up. So, just to say that it makes no sense, we've already seen him do it, and that just shows how powerful the dark side is. You can say you don't like the movie, and you know what? If you don't like the movie, I understand. That's fine. But I think from, like you said, a narrative point, it does make total sense. or like I said, Luke being a failure all the times over and over and over and over again, and goes into secludes himself on this planet or on this the planet, to get away from everything. Dave and John are picking up little tidbits here and there and making stuff canon from all the genres of Star Wars being out there. Yeah, and I mean, that's kind of like what you had to do, because when Disney bought Lucasfilm and, Legends, the expanding universe, whatever you want to call it, was never canon, they kept it not canon, because how do you go and pick some of the great stuff and then some of the stuff that's crap? And you can't just say, well, and I know these aren't how they're done, but, if all of the books that came out were given numbers instead of titles. Okay, the story from book 27, 28, 44, 88, 101, 124, 200, those are canon, the other ones aren't. Like, that's too hard. So they were just like, you know what, it was never canon, we're going to keep it never canon, but, we're gonna cherry pick, and we're going to do what we want to do with this stuff now. So, all right, let's see what we got here. Giovanni. Yeah, but Luke turning the dark side in episode 6 was his lesson. He stops himself before killing Vader because he learned to resist, and for him to cave later on. Did he unlearn his lesson? No. But obviously, the lesson he learned, he was being tempted by the dark side. We find that out, that, the Emperor was pulling the strings this entire time for everything, because he was never really gone, like we thought. And like, one of the things that, is a great discussion point is that when, Luke goes to strike down the Emperor, and Vader has to pull out his lightsaber and stop him. But was Vader, when he did that, was Vader actually saving the Emperor from being killed by Luke, or was he saving Luke from actually turning to the dark side? And, I think it's he actually at that moment, that's when he saved Luke from turning to the dark side. So Luke was ready to go. Luke was dark side, let's go, let's kill this guy. And, his father stopped him. And that's really where, that transition takes place or started. And just because you learned something or a lesson in life once, or have an emotion or a feeling, and doesn't mean you can't have that emotion or that feeling come back again at some other time. Luke failed in the short term, but ultimately succeeded. A New Hope. It's a direct reference to Luke. He is hope. AKA, no matter how bad things get, he pulls through and does succeed. I mean, that's kind of, I don't agree with that. He fails, and he keeps trying, and he fails, and he keeps trying, he fails, and he keeps trying. And then finally he's just like, you know what? No matter what I do, it doesn't work. I try and do this, I try and do that. And the dark side, this is the whole thing. The dark side keeps winning. no matter what I do, no matter how good I am, the dark side keeps winning. I wanted to kill my nephew. Why? Because the dark side keeps winning. So what can I do to, if I turn off the dark, if I turn myself off, then the Force might try and find balance, and that's the only way for, the light side to win. And then he finds out later, well, you know what? That wasn't the right thing to do again. And here's Dale again. It's all right from a certain point of view. In fact, none of it is wrong. Yeah, I mean, that's why, that's why this is great. And, that's the whole thing. Just as long as people can be respectful, everybody, we can have these great conversations. Nothing that I say is probably going to change Giovanni's mind about, the way he feels about the Rise of Skywalker, or The Last Jedi. And probably there's really nothing that he says that's going to make me think that, it doesn't make complete sense. From a psychological standpoint, you got to remember, even though that this is fake and in space, George Lucas spent so much time on these people's psychology and, breaking it down that way and doing all these things that, they show. That's why people relate to them so much. And that's why people get so, emotional about this. When do you think we see a big fight between both camps, Mandos and Moff getting the army? I really have no idea. I mean, they could make it be the next 2 or 3 episodes of them trying to find Ahsoka. Now, we have Dave Filoni directing episode 5, so we, the betting money would be that Ahsoka is going to be in this one because it's his baby being Ahsoka, but that really doesn't mean anything. It could just be the introduction of her. It could be her as a hologram. I mean, we could just see, the back of her cloak. I thought we were going to see, I didn't think we were going to see her in the episode, like doing something, but I thought we would just get a glimpse of her or something to, let us know, hey, she's still here. But we didn't. And, I mean, that's why it's so hard to figure out. It's not like a weekly, even though it is on weekly and it's a TV show, it's not like a regular weekly TV show where you have to have, a beginning, a middle, and an end, and this has to tie in with this and go and it flows. It's being done like a book. So it's being done in chapters. And, in a book, sometimes you find something out in chapter 2, and we don't come back to it until chapter 10 or chapter 20. So we might not get the Boba Fett thing again. If we ever do, that might just be enough to say, hey, Boba Fett's still alive. And then we can talk about, well, maybe it's not, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Like we've talked about cloning and stuff. So, I don't know if we're going to see a big fight between the two sides. It could just be a smaller fight. Where we get the Mandos back. I mean, like Genwell, where are you from? Just wondering out of that one too. We got a couple of New Yorkers in here chatting. I'm originally from Buffalo, then lived all around the country. I'm in New York City now. Dale's off over in Hippie Land or something like that. Patrick's around, but he's not around anymore. I think he went to bed. But let's see. Yep, so I think someone not to save the dark side, but he was his place was to kill Palpatine. But that's the whole thing. So he saves his father in a possible sense, that he's no longer evil, but are you actually redeemed? If Hitler the day before, whether or not you want to say he killed himself or he got blown up or whatever, decides that he's going to surrender and give all of the everything back and sell off all the things and use that to start, everything back up and, like whatever. Oh, okay, he's doing something good now. He's forgiven. No, like it's just not, like it gets to the point of, like what does it actually mean that he's, how is he saved? And we know through bloodlines, the rest of the fucking world doesn't like him at all, so much so that Leia is ostracized just from being his daughter. And, did Anakin really kill him? I mean, if he transferred his essence, I mean, so this is a whole other conversation in itself, too. Let's see what Sergio's got to say. Like the council at Nisa with the Christian Bible, they threw out some books and kept some books, and the Roman Catholic Church kept it in. Yeah, we're talking about legends being whatever. Dark side, it keeps winning. He turned Vader, who killed Palpatine. Him not turning and resisting inspired Vader and gave him hope. So now he sees he can be saved, which is why Luke wins. I mean, Luke didn't really win. I mean, just because Luke didn't turn evil, I don't really think you'd call that a win. I mean, it's like, but the dark side's still there. Palpatine's still there. If it wasn't Palpatine, it would have been someone else. The dark side keeps winning. That's why they're not destroyed. And Giovanni, P.S. Love the open discussion. We can say whatever. I just like to always see different points of view because I'll be honest, I hate just about everything with the sequels, and I want to hear the other side. And that's what we're here for. Like Patrick and I don't agree with everything. Dale and I don't agree with everything. We got our buddy Rural Farm Boy that comes on here. We don't agree with everything. That's the whole thing. We can sit here and just have discussion after discussion, and that's what we do every week. Just let you know why you're here. On Mondays at 9:30, I still have the Bacta tank up there. It's the Bacta tank. It's like an interview. I can't really call it an interview because I talk way too much for it to be an interview. But we have on other podcasters or content creators or just people that like Star Wars. We've had a few authors and actors or whatever. We're doing this on, Thursday night, Friday morning, depending on where you live or who you are. And on Saturday, we do the Septic Tank where we just talk about whatever. There's really no... rhyme or reason behind what we talk about. It's not even always Star Wars either. Sometimes we just talk about whatever we feel like talking about. So stop by and check those out. Mondays are 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Saturdays are 10 o'clock. But I just started back to work after being out for 8 months because of COVID and COVID-related side effects or whatever you want to call them. And yeah. Patrick's back. All right, good to see you. I missed a lot here. Born in the Philippines. You live in Australia now. Okay, that's great. We can talk about that. I'm trying to learn Tagalog. Um, so, uh, and we have a lot of friends of the podcast or the network that are in Australia. What part of Australia are you from? Here we go. Ahsoka and Moff Gideon. So is Moff Gideon. Here's everything too. Is Moff Gideon force sensitive, and he needs to put his self into a clone to take over. There's been some discussion about that. And Catfish Hunter K, how are you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Watch it in Germany. That is great. We like to see that. We haven't seen Gideon use the Darksaber. It is possible he became lightsaber proficient like General Grievous did. This is true. That's kind of going into my question before I even asked it. What you say is what you feel truly are. What you say and what you truly feel are different. Vader can't say he's sorry and be forgiven, but his act of killing Palpatine was his sure he's truly sorry. True. But one act of goodness doesn't take away all of the the bad ones. But that's that's where you get in. This is a whole another moral conversation. And usually, like this would be great for the septic tank to talk about, because we'll sit there and it's not safe for work either. We sit there, we start swearing and screaming at each other and going crazy and just whatever, and all different points of views, all different types of people that are on there, so actions speak louder than words. They do, but when like that's one good deed doesn't erase all of those other horrible ones. And maybe it's me being a skeptic person, but just because someone does one good thing, did he do it for his son, or did he do it because he actually saw the errors in his ways? Because we didn't know about Anakin in the OT, and we find out what he was like in the prequels, and he was kind of a dick. Or was that because he was being manipulated by the dark side the whole time? All right, and Sergio, he's got a theory. The armor wears the mask of Mandalore. Look at the description of it on the Wikipedia. Sergio, I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Sergio, you sent me a story too to read, and I haven't gotten to that yet, but I promise you I will. That's a shout, maybe a stretch. I'm not sure what we're talking about. Interesting theory, Sergio. Giovanni, are you talking about this? I'm a little bit behind now. I talk a lot. We've got a theory that the armor wears the mask of Mandalore. I'll have to look into that. I'm going to write that as a note because armor mask of Mandalore. Okay. Dale, there are too many possibilities to get upset about the one that happens differently that you know was never canon. There all really is two different. Well, you know what? I'm just reading this to myself. That's kind of shitty. There are too many possibilities to get upset about one that happens differently than you knew that was never canon. There, that's all there really is to do. Different isn't always better. Better's always different. Okay, you're in Melbourne. All right, we got a lot of people in Melbourne. Um, that is where Steele Saunders is from, and you have down there Blue Bantha Milk Co. Is down there doing their Star Wars thing. Star Wars Spelt Out is from Melbourne. Yeah, we got a bunch of Star Wars friends down there. Skywalking Inc. I've had the founders of Skywalkers Inc. on here on my Monday night show. I've become friendly with a few of them and a few other people in that I don't know in the club. Dale, I think he might be cloning himself like Palpatine did in the EU. M-Count didn't allow them to live. This is a whole nother science thing, and what we were talking about earlier. You also saw previously somebody use the dark saber, and Sabine even learned to fight with a lightsaber against Gar Saxon. We all know the Beacons attached to the crest. Do you think the Empire, New Order, whatever you call them, attacks dead straight away, or will they wait until he's close to the Ahsoka reveal? They're not tracking him for the Ahsoka, I do not believe. All right, so here's the question: is why don't they just go and get the child if they're tracking him? Because they have to wait for the right time, because they know the child is force sensitive, and that his powers are growing, so he's going to be able to do things. So they need to be kind of tricky about it. So they're going to wait and follow for the right time. But do they know that he's going to find the Jedi to drop him off with? They might be waiting for that too, because in case Baby Yoda doesn't work, you still now have these other Jedi. If you're going to drop him off at other Jedi, you have these other Jedi that you can possibly try and capture. So now instead of just having the Baby Yoda blood to do experiments with or tests or whatever you want to call it, you now have Ahsoka or whoever these other Jedi are that you're going to be leading them up to. If Han can slice open a tauntaun, anything is possible in Star Wars with the lightsaber. Well, since you brought it up, Patrick, let's just talk about this, all right? This little guy's just hopping around. Hi, I'm a tauntaun. We could all have had these if we didn't have COVID and we were having a celebration right now going on. But you know what? Now, all of a sudden, we got cut open. Bloop! And this guy is blue, so we need to stick him all up in my insides and get him warm. Thank you, Patrick, for bringing that up. I love this little guy. This is from Celebration Anaheim 2020, and it didn't happen, but I got that and a T-shirt or something from it too. this is one of the best stories of Star Wars. There's so much still out there. I can't wait until they make the film over Darth Bane. He's the birth of the true dark side. Um, I mean, yeah, like, I don't. We got the stories that we're going to go with the High Republic, and I think that, like when they talked with us at Celebration last year, and I sat in that room and they were talking about, the High Republic and how it was going to be a multimedia event. When they came out to make the big announcement about what it was going to be, and it was like, it's books and comic books. That's not the multimedia event they were talking about. I don't believe. I think that they told us too much at Star Wars Celebration, and, I was there. I sat in that room. I listened to Kathleen Kennedy and whoever the hell else was in there talking, and they were like, it's a multimedia event. Okay, multimedia. It's going to be just more than books and comic books. But, I think like a lot of times Lucasfilm likes to give us more information than there actually is or than what we should have. So that's why there's so much disappointment and so much scrutiny and so much, whatever happens with it. It is what it is. Just really quick side note, like going with the Kenobi thing. When that celebration, they said, hey, Kenobi is looking great. We have the scripts. And then the rumor is, it was too much like The Mandalorian. You don't think they knew the Mandalorian story and then they knew that the Kenobi story, if it actually was very similar or they were the same, that, they didn't know that until it came out. I just think that they told us a story that they wanted us to tell and get us hyped up for or whatever, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, we don't have this or whatever. If getting a smart Imperial, he will wait and plan. I think you are 100% correct there, Patrick. I went way too far on that little thing. We're way behind here on the notes. Okay. All right, Patrick. Yep. Getawell agrees with you. They could get the child in Ahsoka. I mean, they might. This is the whole thing. We don't know yet. What do they know? Are the Inquisitors all gone? With Palpatine going, was that like the end of the Sith and the dark side? You know what I'm talking about? I know it keeps going, but Inquisitors and Vader and everything. So now, just getting to have powers, or other things like that. We want them for experiments. Gideon managed to sneak up on all of them on Navarro in Season 1. He is the man, always with some sort of plan. Hell yeah. Shaft! Oh, wait. The color is Rudy Gold. The horns might be representing the Mythosaur horns. Filoni and Favreau love using Legends material. That is true. They do love using Legends material. There's some stuff in there that can be cherry picked, that is good. It just happens to be that a lot of it is not. So, it's like just trying to, like I said before, you got a little bit of good stuff. You got 10% that's amazing, and you got 10% that's complete and utter trash. And then that 80% that's in the middle there, out of that 80%, maybe 20's really bad and 20's really good. And then you have some stuff in the middle that's just kind of like, okay stories. But even with that stuff that's really trash, you can still maybe get a couple good gems out of there. So, Gideon and Thrawn Maybe same kind of same kind of planners or whatever. Obviously, he's the the Empire's dead, and he's got it kept going. So as this gets into the aftermath part where they pretend that he's still alive to keep it going, and they're like, no, he's dead. Um, what if Moff goes crazy for powers and tries to experiment himself with the M count? Like that's the whole thing. Does he? But he might already have. He might already have the powers. So that's a question we don't know. Yeah, Dale, we know that they're tracking the Razor Crest for the child. Um, Unfortunately, I gotta go. I'll leave with Down with Kathleen Kennedy and in Forever We Trust. I mean, Kathleen Kennedy was a huge part of The Mandalorian. Um, Filoni and Favreau talk about how they could have made The Mandalorian without her. Um, so, and I mean, she's got a proven track record. And, she's not the one always in charge. She's got bosses too. So, it's just easy to use her as a scapegoat, but there's a lot more layers than just that. And Gwenwell says, Gio, good luck with your homework, and stop back and chat with us some other time. Remember, Monday nights at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time and Saturdays at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So, Catfish over in Germany, you're, 6 or 7 hours ahead of us. So, you're talking about 4 or 5 in the morning for both those times because we're usually not doing it this late. The child still has the tracking device in him. We don't know. I don't know if it was ever, this gets into the whole fob thing, and how does the fob work? Does it go by your DNA? So they can always track you because they have the DNA. Or is it one of those things where they actually, I'm just using this, gives you a radioactive isotope that they can then track, and it's unique to that one tracker, or, whatever it's going to be. Yeah, G Valley, man, stop by anytime. I hope you, I hope you subscribed. Not, for the subscription, that whatever. Just so that you can catch us all the time whenever we're on. All right, here we go. Patrick's got a theory. My theory is that the armor used to be a former MANDALORIan Death Watch member. She broke off her horns after Maul left them to survive on there during the Siege of Mandalore. Okay, so like the Mandalorian with the Death Watch, and after the fall, the really really strict religion, because they're going with like the neo-fascism religious cult thing, trying to stay alive. All right, Patrick, let's remember this. Let's remember this thing. And see how it goes from there. Um, All right, and just guys, just remember, super chats are open too. Anybody wants to drop a super chat on there, it's always greatly appreciated. Not mandatory though. You know, I'll sit here and answer your questions anyways, so you know, might get it closer to the top or a little better answer. Especially because it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I think that's what he's doing. What's the last question? Oh, the experimenting with you know, experimenting with the count. Hey, Christina, how are you doing? Thanks for stopping by. We're actually we're going on YouTube right now too. We got a pretty good live chat going on still. Lots of questions, lot of talking. Just me, Patrick had to bow out, but he's still in the comments. Me and Patrick and Dale and a bunch of new friends. Sergio came back, and we got Gwenwill and Giovanni. So we've been having a good old conversation going on right there. Gwenwill wants to know if armors actually took their helmets in Clone Wars. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that question. Just how it's going. Armors actually took their helmets in Clone Wars. Can you, someone else, if you can answer the question? I'd appreciate it, or I'm not understanding the question. Sorry. No, they're only after the child, but he's going to lead them to Ahsoka unwillingly. I mean, I know he's only after the child, but if he thinks that it might lead them to other Jedi, then that's kind of a bonus. So he might just be saying, "Hey, let's wait and see what's going on. You know, it's no big hurry. We don't need him this weekend." Yeah, we got a lot of talking going on. Not the same armor. Okay. Dale doesn't think it's the same armor. Thanks for the correction, Dale. Patrick, I really think the timing of Season 7 of the Season of Mandalore being timed during this Mandalorian content has much more weight for a reason. It was fit after Season 1, but before Season 2 for a reason. I mean, you know, like a lot of times when you take something over and you're trying to do things, sometimes you have some bumps in the road. So, they had some plans and they had some ideas and they did the sequel trilogy, and it didn't really end, for a lot of the Star Wars fans, weren't happy with it as a whole. A lot of your normal people were. That's where you make your money. But us diehards, there was a good proportion of us, that, weren't really happy. But I think a lot of it comes down to, hey, let's try this and do this, and then, let's get this writer and then this writer and this. So it's a bunch of it was a bunch of little mistakes that ended up being just not so good. But they got their groove now. So, we didn't get the stellar content that we were hoping for in some of the movies, but now that should be ironed out pretty much, hopefully, and that's what we got here. So let's see. We're getting all right. That's probably going to be about it for the questions for tonight. I'm going to say it once again, unless there's a super chat that comes in, and then we'll stay going and talk about those. But we're going to finish off these questions, and you know, you can leave your questions on after this gets put up there. You can leave your questions on there. You can send them to me on Twitter. You can find me on all the social medias at TooMedToo. So the Children of the Watch were the Death Watch symbol on their pauldrons. That's why everyone thought Din was saved by Death Watch. I mean, what if Death Watch became Children of the Watch? And the only reason they're called Children of the Watch is because Death Watch went and took the children to raise them in the Death Watch way. And that's where you get the religious cult thing coming in. So they're only called children of the cult or Children of the Watch because they were raised up from children. So it's no longer Death Watch. It's possible he was saved before Maul took over the throne. Thanks for everything and your time. Catfish dude, come back again anytime you got, some time, and maybe we can, make this grow into a loving relationship. Not loving like that, but, My theory is Children of the Watch is much older than Death Watch. And Death Watch broke off with corrupted teachings. Oh, I didn't even highlight that, but... All right, Sergio, that's good. We like that one. That was good. Is Corvus under the radar or protected by the New Republic? I do not know. Gonna have to do a little research on that one for you. Okay. Wouldn't the New Republic detect Imperials? They would, but like they've said, it's so vast-reaching, and everything's still kind of, a mess. And if you look at the books, like they, in Aftermath, there were still pockets that they didn't know, and they're far out there in the, just spread out. And you also have where, what is it? Tevis is out there saying that, he thinks there's something going on, but the powers that be don't believe him. And, even if he's probably not talking about Luke and Leia. That his messages and his things that he says probably don't get anywhere near close to Luke and Leia. But the bosses are like, oh yeah, whatever. That's what they're doing right now. They're going around hunting down Imperials and trying to get them. But think about it. Wherever you live, the police can't keep up with everything in that neighborhood. So there's still crime. It's like saying, why don't they just go find the criminals and destroy them? But put that over an entire galaxy. It kind of makes sense. I don't know what Catfish is saying, maybe. They keep mentioning Gideon keeps killing his own men. It is really possible he is an Imperial version of Grievous. Maybe. Trained in the Jedi ways. Yeah. Chapter 10 refers to the New Republic trying to track and detect him. Yeah, like, I mean, that's the whole thing. They're trying to get them, but they just can't always, get them. And, like we saw in season 1, or for our perfect example, when Russia fell and all these pockets opened up and did things, that now they became warlords and everything. So it takes time to break them down, and then what happens, you get the organized crime going out of there. So it's all kind of, relatively speaking, um, you know, it's all together. It's all tied together for that. Grievous kept killing his soldiers and droids constantly. I would have liked to see the skeleton droids in the episode, but I guess they decided not to. I'm not sure what you mean by that. If I'm missing something there. Thrawn might be in the works. That would be awesome. Oh, I missed a bunch of stuff. Oh, wait. All right, it's 11 a.m. You got to go right now. Yeah, it's 5 a.m. here, so you're 6 hours ahead of me right now over in Germany. But yeah, dude. Hopefully you'll be back again and we can chat. DNA, I believe, on tracking fobs. They haven't told us anything yet, though. Oh, I was getting ready to fall asleep there for a second. So, yeah. I said we got to stop asking questions and keep it going, put them on later on. But, super chats, and I'll keep going. And I'm getting ready to fall asleep here. And questions just keep coming. Let's simmer down now and pull it together, and we'll see, what we have for the questions later on. Yeah, I have a car appointment in company in the morning. I think I need to get soon. Yeah. Boom. There she is. She came on to Live It, actually. Dale, I have Live It going on too. So the screen is being broadcast to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and a couple other places. And my phone is me talking to people or watching me talk to you. Like right now, we have Grind Creations just stopped in for the snack, and we have another friend who just stopped in. And if I was using my computer right now, I'd be able to contact them and see what was going on because I could use a translator because I do not speak Japanese. And Christina Flores, she was in Live It talking with me, and she came back over now to YouTube to see what's up. Saying what is going on, people. You missed a good chat, Christina. Sorry, that was the answer to Dale. Yeah, I try and keep up, but sometimes it's hard to keep up with the chat when we're having, 4 and 5 different conversations at once. And then, I listen, I want people talking. I want people in the chat communicating with each other. And, that's the best part of it. Have your own conversations and, don't let me be the only one talking and having fun. So It is actually the same time when I see Leia has her twins, but Luke is on there too. Oh, and Grind's coming in, and he's dropping some bombs again. Oh, I missed that picture. It's all right, though. We're just about done here with this, so I can get rid of that doodle. All right, put that there. Grind, thank you for coming in, dropping those bombs. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. I mean, I guess I could be showing some of the questions that were coming up here. I didn't even think about that. All right, Grind. Yeah, I gotta go. It's we're on the same time, so it's 5:20 right now. And I keep saying goodnight to all the people in my chat on my on the stream, and they just keep coming. They just keep coming. I'm trying to say goodnight, and I threw the super chat thing, but no one's listening. They just keep talking, and I keep talking too, because that's how we do. Keep grinding away, Grind. I'll talk to you. I was gonna say in the morning, but I guess it's morning when we wake up, so afternoon or so. Is this actually the same time when Leia has her twins and Luke is out there with Jade? I mean, it could be, but it never really happened. So, you're talking about something that doesn't exist in this world, according to, if you like Legends, go ahead and love Legends, but it really doesn't have any, it doesn't really fit into this. Yeah, we're still live. We're still live on everything. Doing what we can. Padme had twins, Luke and Leia. Dale says, yes, we are still live. Season 1 takes place about 5 years. We're not sure how much time has passed for this. I'm going to guess a few months, but it could actually be longer. And then, how much time has actually passed between episode 3 and episode 4 is another good question. Because the Razor Crest was completely, fixed up and shiny and everything again. Leia and Han had a child. His name was Ben Solo. Or badass Kylo Ren. Yes, Kylo Ren. So they actually could meet one of them in the galaxy. Yeah, this is, this takes place during Aftermath. So this is 5 years after the Death Star was destroyed, the second Death Star. I just skipped over way too much again. Not the biggest fan of Ben, to be honest. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. But then again, I mean, we watched Luke go from the whiny brat to eventually become this badass, and we're watching Kylo Ren go from a badass to become a whiny brat. So, and Dale says, yes, Sergio, that's the way I saw it. Children on the Watch have been around more than 10 or 15, 5 to 10 years. They split does okay. their warriors from the Watch were exiled to the moon. Then the Death Watch broke off, and the children of the Watch stuck off and created behind coverts on the outer rim. New Republic and Mando should team up together. I mean, maybe not full force, but maybe some little factions. We hear how they treat each other. I'm not sure what that was about. The new pacifist Mandalorian government, thought they died off. Death Watch stayed where they could cause more mayhem. I mean, there's, this is where you get into, a lot of the, the different factions and what you have. And, we have some Mandalorian books coming out in the next few months that should hopefully give us some clarifications on a few of these things. Will Gideon's new troopers be his version of the Imperial Super Magna Guards? Patrick, you are a version of the Imperial Super Magna Guards. This is exciting, not. Well, good. You can get the fuck out, dickhead. How's that? You're only 10 minutes behind, falling asleep. I think I like this. Where's the Fortnite dance? I don't know who this is. All right. So, hey, this guy get into it with details. Yeah, we've been talking about details all night, dude, and now it's 5:30 in the morning. We've been going for 3 hours, so I don't know, Christina, whoever this guy is who said this is exciting, not, and then he's just sitting here spamming TikTok and whatever else. So yeah, whatever. Yeah, dude. I mean, Sergio, it's always fun to with this crazy speculation, and we're asking questions and we're asking questions about questions we've asked, and we don't even know what the real answers are, so we're speculating on top of speculating. But we got a couple things to clarify for the septic tank on Saturday night. So everybody, thanks for coming by. It is now 5:30 in the morning. We had a good time. We had a good chat. We've been chatting about this for going on almost 2 hours now. Had a couple new friends that came in here. So hopefully we get a few people to stop back on Saturday when we continue this. And with that, that's a good day. May the force be with you. Always.